Milos Teodosic. Does that name ring a bell? If it doesn't, he's probably one of the best passers in the world. He's currently playing in Euroleague and had a 2-year career in the NBA with the LA Clippers. But what he's most famous for right now is this jaw-dropping assist. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'm gonna break down how he did it. That ridiculous no-look pass has the entire internet talking about him, and in this video I'm going to break down his game and teach you to see the game the way Milos does so that you can have some of the IQ that makes him one of the best passers in the world. Welcome to the film room. His ability to do what he does all starts with understanding passing windows. And what I mean by that is this. He can see the floor so well that he understands when somebody is open, there's always a way to get him the ball. So in this pick and roll, he wants to throw it to his roll man, but there's no way to throw it over in this window because of the defense. So he understands that if I throw a bounce pass to this spot over here, I can get it to him. But I don't want you to think that that's easy. To do this, you have to be able to make any pass you want at any time with either hand. So in this situation right here, nobody would say that this post is open to throw the ball into, but this is what Milos recognizes. There's no defensive help on the backside, and he has such good chemistry with his big that he knows if he throws it over the top, he's going to be wide open. So he's paying attention to multiple defenders and noticing where open windows are at all the time. Take this ball screen. As soon as this big helps, he wants to get the ball to his big who's rolling, and you can see him looking for him right now. But his defender knows he's open and he goes to jump in that window, so Milos pivots, finds a different window, and throws this dime over the big's head. And the replay really lets you see what he sees. As he wants to throw this ball right here because he's open, he has to find a different window, and he knows because the big is looking away from the ball, he can throw it right over his head without worrying about it getting stolen. So in his mind, there's always a way to get the ball to the open man. Take this ball screen for an example. As he comes off, there's 2 people guarding the ball, which we'll talk about later, and he knows that his big is going to be open on this roll, so he's already calling for it because he wants to throw it to him. So on the catch, he sees this window right here and knows he just has to get it into that window before it closes. And he would probably tell you that that was a huge window. In this situation, when he comes off this step-up ball screen, there's going to be a much smaller window that he has to fit it through, and he's going to fit it through that window and lead his big to make sure that the ball doesn't get stolen. And just like with that behind the back pass that we already saw, he also knows when the perfect time to use a bounce pass is. So when he comes off this ball screen, he sees his big open, but he chooses to throw the bounce pass, and it probably would have been stolen if he threw it in the air. A key that you can take away from Milos' game is this. Sometimes the bounce pass creates a window where there almost is no place to throw it. In this situation, it doesn't look like there's any way to hit this big because there's no space, and he finds a way with this bounce pass to fit it into the smallest area possible. The next thing that Milos sees on the court that you have to understand is tags. And what I mean by that is this. Anytime a ball screen is set, the goal is to get 2 people to the ball, but that's not what he's focused on. He's paying attention to these 2 help defenders right here because they're going to tell him where to go with the basketball. And here's what I mean by that. Anytime you set a ball screen, the goal is to either get a mismatch or get 2 people on the ball. So here this big helps, and you've got 2 people on the ball. So as that big is rolling, you'll notice that this defender right here never comes over and helps, or what I would refer to as tagging the roll man, and that's why he's wide open. And depending upon how the floor is balanced, sometimes there's 2 tags, sometimes there's 1. But in every situation, leverage is the key. So as he comes off the ball screen, this big has out-leveraged both of these tag defenders by getting inside of them, so Milos knows he's going to be open if he throws it. So before he comes off of a ball screen, this is what he's always paying attention to. On this possession, before he even takes one dribble off of the ball screen, he recognizes this low tag is already standing in the middle of the paint, so he just kicks it to the corner because he knows he's open. So for all my coaches out there, one of the things that these brilliant coaches do is they run plays to remove tags. So that pistol action gets all of these defenders outside the paint, and it makes for the easiest read in the world. But again, what makes Milos special is he is always a step ahead. So on this ball screen, you can see that this big is out leveraged the tag and he should be wide open. But because his man is trying to take away that pass, he ends up throwing it to the corner rather than turning it over by trying to hit the roll man. So when you put all these pieces together, this is what you get. He comes off of a step-up ball screen. There's a window right there for him to throw it, but because he's holding the ball down here on his hip, he can't get it there. He recognizes that the tag is outside the paint, so he throws it right over the big's head, and he looks like a genius. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about that he does really well is he anticipates help anytime he drives downhill. So as he turns the corner right here and has a potential layup, he is anticipating that this big is going to come over and help. So instead of challenging him or trying to make a tough layup, he knows he's got a wide open kick out for a three. You'll see on this drive that as he goes to get into this gap, he's going to get tripped up and he's actually looking down at the ground, but he knows that that help defender is going to come over at some point and he gets an easy dunk for his teammate. And this is actually something I like about the European game more than here in the States. Guards try and make tough shots all the time in these situations, but in Europe, they just take the simple bucket. And the thing about Milos is he's able to do things that are so subtle you might not even recognize it. On this cut, he gets the help defense and he's ready to throw this ball back to where the help came from, which probably would end up getting stolen by this defender. And at the last minute, he recognizes this defender also came over to help and he changed his mind last second and dumped it to the room. So if you stuck around, I told you I'd break down this play, and here we go. And hopefully you understand after everything we've talked about exactly how he did this. It starts with him knowing that he's going to get a hedge on this ball screen, so his big is going to be open. And then when he saw that this help defender was already getting ready to come over and tag, he knew that he could throw this ball to the corner, and he went to his famous right-hand hook pass, and the defender moved right as he went to throw it, and it ended up being perfect. The thing I hope you take from this video isn't the flash, but the high IQ that Milos has, because you can understand the game at this level too. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts about what you learned. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for coming through. We'll see you next time in the film room.